There were things I wasn't accustomed to, like attics, like figuring out how to light kerosene lamps, or like having the roof suddenly cave in on my head.
This time, Fibber McGee cheers up hospital patients, and Barrie Craig meets the Claw Killer. Hello there, this is Victor Ives, inviting you to join us now as we turn back the clock to relive the golden moments of radio's yesteryear and present the greatest radio shows of all time on the golden age of radio theater. This time, Barrie Craig, confidential investigator with a rather intriguing title, The Case of the Claw Killer of Seneca. Wow. Broadcast February 6th, 1952. And Fibber McGee and Molly from 1943 in an episode in which McGee cheers up hospital patients, and their psychological well-being will probably never be the same.
Barrie Craig speaking. Manhattan Island's my beat. From Battery Place uptown to Spite and Divo. I've got my footprints on every inch of sidewalk, a memory in every mile. Get used to a beat and it's like home to you. You're an island native, and only a pretty fancy fee can drag you even across the river to Brooklyn or 3 other boroughs. To drag you out of town needs a major earthquake or an act of Congress. So how come I find myself 40 miles from Broadway in an incorporated village called Seneca on the trail of a claw murderer? A nice little gent with side whiskers like Abraham Lincoln coaxed me into it. Town Supervisor Samuels, he called himself. His pitch went something like this.
I came straight to you from Lieutenant Trav Rogers of your Metropolitan Police, Mr. Craig.
Yeah, Lieutenant Rogers phoned me you just left his office. No dice, old man. Seneca's off my beat.
But it's a situation of desperate emergency.
What's the population of your village, Samuels?
300.
A killer can't lose himself in that small a crowd.
But
Order every townsman to line up in the public square. Then go up and down the line. When you see a wild gleam, nab him.
A wild gleam?
The guy you're looking for is a lunatic, first class. The claw used in the killing shows that. One nut in the neighborly crowd, your sheriff can't be that helpless.
Well, he is. Berkey's only honorary sheriff. His business is farm tools and tractors.
Who's your regular sheriff?
We have nobody. Crime in Seneca's a rare thing. Don't even have a jail.
Pass the hat and build yourself one. Crime's here to stay, people say.
The board of supervisors empowered me to supersede Berkey, to contract outside help. Someone experienced in homicide. You were highly recommended.
By Trav Rogers. The lieutenant's having his joke.
Please, Mr. Craig.
You're a nice town supervisor, and you look like a tintype of an old favorite uncle of mine. I'd like to help you, but no amount of pleading. No power on earth, not 50 claw killings can entice me 40 miles from New York. In Seneca, flanked by Samuels and the sometime sheriff, I got a look at the corpse. The morgue was the back room of a taxpayer divided into a grain, oats, and seed shop and mortuary parlor.
This was Dr. Tyler, Mr. Craig.
Doctor, huh?
Horse doctor.
Oh, sad day for Dobbin. Pretty thorough job of annihilation.
Shocking crime.
The claw marks on the skull were made by a garden tool, looks like.
Yeah.
Did Doc Tyler have any enemies? Let the sheriff answer, Samuels.
Why, no. Not to my knowledge, he didn't. Doc Tyler was a pillar in the community, a fine, respected man.
Save the eulogy for the funeral services, huh? Theft, then. Was anything stolen?
No, I'll have to say no to that. All Tyler had was accounts receivable. Bills owing him for his doctoring work.
You went over his property, then?
I did. The robbery was my notion, too, at first. I ordered an inventory of everything Tyler owned, right down to the horse pails.
And nothing was missing?
Nothing of any account, no. Except for old Baldy, everything was right where it belonged.
Except for old Baldy, you say?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Old Baldy's an old iron paperweight, the American Eagle. Doc Tyler always had it on his desk on top of a pile of papers.
And old Baldy was missing?
Yes, we couldn't find hide nor hair of it. Well, either somebody borrowed it and planned to keep it now that Tyler's gone, or Tyler threw it out.
Or the murderer clawed Tyler to get it.
Oh, now, why would anybody want to commit murder for a worthless old paperweight?
Can't say. But that's why I'm in this whistle stop, to find out why.
And that brings us down to cases. You and me.
Come again?
Your being here. Samuels brought you out against me.
Against you?
No, Sheriff.
Shut up, Samuels. This is between me and Craig. Against me, I said, Craig.
Oh, I get it. Your pride's hurt, huh, Sheriff?
When you've jackassed around a while and Samuels admits to being the finicky fool he is, I'm marching you to the railroad station.
With a brass band and local school mom doubling as drum majorette. A big goodbye to a conquering hero, Sheriff, because my parting gift to Seneca is your claw murderer in person. Want to bet? I found overnight accommodations at a Miss Pringle's split seconds before a storm broke. Miss Pringle was a spinster who looked it. There were things I wasn't accustomed to, like attics, like figuring out how to light kerosene lamps, or like having the roof suddenly cave in on my head. I went down from a sneak blow. A club, the weapon felt like. I went down, but not out. I could see through a red haze like a film of blood, and I could hear glass breaking somewhere in the room. I rolled on the floor, not to be a sitting duck for a second blow. But no second blow came. Just quiet and the rain outside. The rain blowing in from an open window. The window my sneak opponent had used getting in and out. I went out the window after him. Outside, just at the edge of Miss Pringle's driveway, I ran into a reasonable facsimile of King Kong. A guy who looked as if he should be swinging from trees. Sitting behind the wheel of an open convertible, its top down. Working the car starter and getting nowhere. Having trouble, friend?
It's slow, don't want to go.
The wires are wet.
I'm driving good and then it stops.
Your wires are wet.
I'm driving good and then it stops and then it won't go.
You're getting all tangled up in your IQ, friend. Doesn't the top go up?
Yeah, easy. This button here, you push it.
So push it.
No.
You've got a medium-sized lake around you. Floodwaters rising from the floorboard.
I'm not pushing no button. I like it like this.
How did you happen to stall here?
I told you I'm driving good.
Well, let it stop so that it won't go.
You making fun of me?
No. Did we meet a while ago?
Huh? Where?
In Miss Pringle's attic.
No. I'm driving, so how could it be?
How could it be? Parked here the last 5 minutes. Did you see anybody in a hurry to quit the general neighborhood of Miss Pringle's?
No. I see nobody.
You're sure?
Are you trying to mix me up?
Nature got to you first. Just for future reference, what name do you answer to?
Harmony.
Harmony?
Yeah. You like it?
You're listening to Barrie Craig, confidential investigator, and the case of the Claw Killer of Seneca. Now back to Barrie Craig, played by William Gargan.
Back in the attic with the kerosene lamp lit and Miss Pringle in a trembling spasm, I took stock of the room.
Oh, what you've told me, Mr. Craig, it's unbelievable.
Believe it. I wasn't born with this rhinoceros egg on my head.
But what purpose
I'm
would you...
checking to see. This picture on the floor, where was it hanging originally? The kerosene lamp's throwing so many shadows I can't see the nail hole.
Why, it hung there over the highboy. The glass broke?
Yeah, it needs a new glass. A ship's print, huh?
Yes, the Princess Ida, an old whaling vessel.
The picture have any special meaning?
Special meaning?
A value, an heirloom or something?
Why, no value. I only paid $1 for... Oh, wait. Yes, come to think of it, I was offered a good price for it.
How good a price?
$100, if I recollect.
For $1 print? Who made the offer?
The young Mr. Stanley, the one with the new antique shop out on North Rugby.
Why didn't you sell the picture to him?
Well, I'm not sure. For spite, I guess.
Spite.
Well, the young man was too persistent and bad-mannered. Calling me on the telephone and then tracking his muddy boots on my parlor rugs. But I don't understand why these questions.
Somebody was up here to steal the picture. I got in the way and was struck down.
But nobody stole it, Princess Ida.
It was dropped in the commotion and the getaway. I heard breaking glass while rolling on the floor.
Oh, you're trying to frighten me.
Just enough to make you twice the cautious miss you already are. No men in your parlor. There's one joker abroad who might not respect that rule.
Oh, you're not alluding to the claw murderer?
Bolt your door and sleep with one eye open.
Oh, my...
I've just found you, beautiful, and I don't want to lose you.
Mr. Craig.
Yes, Miss Pringle.
There's a fine room on the first floor right next to mine.
Oh, no thanks. I'm getting to like the attic.
There's electricity and a wall outlet you can shave.
Oh, really kind of you. But I'm looking forward to roughing it. It'll toughen me up.
Mr. Craig, I insist you move to the room downstairs next to mine.
Oh, this creeping infatuation for me. Fight it, Miss Pringle, to your last drop of blood. We could get to be the talk of Seneca.
I don't care, Mr. Craig. I'm frightened.
In the morning, I took breakfast with Town Supervisor Samuels. Breakfast and information.
I'm sorry Sheriff Berkey made you unwelcome.
Berkey's sensitive to competition.
I'm sorry about your injury.
My injury?
You were attacked and beaten last night.
How could you know?
Miss Pringle had me on the telephone in the middle of the night.
Oh. I want to know about a couple of your townspeople.
Eh?
First, a bright chap who calls himself Harmony.
Harmony? Now, what reason could you...
Never mind. I'm asking the questions. Tell me about him.
Harmony's Big Toby Keller. Hires out for odd jobs. Spring plowing, window washing, garage work.
How about dirty work?
No. Craig, you're wrong about Harmony. I'd take an oath. His mind isn't the best. But we know him to be good-natured, honest.
Mm-hmm. What about a young Mr. Stanley?
Fred Stanley? He's a newcomer to Seneca.
What brought him here?
A lawyer got him to come in the first place. From Chicago, I think. Yeah, Chicago. Fred Stanley came thinking he was a missing heir. Claimed his grandfather's fortune.
But there was no fortune.
Only an old house just this side of the Seneca line. Not worth the taxes on it.
Why was there any idea of a fortune at all?
And the grandfather, old Mitchell Stanley, was said to be a rich miser who put no trust in banks. When Mitch Stanley died, there wasn't a penny. They had to auction off his furniture to pay for his funeral.
But young Stanley stayed on in Seneca.
Opened an antique shop in the old Stanley house.
Can he make out in a one-horse town like this?
He has business signs posted on the highways, hoping to get the tourist trade. What's your interest in Fred Stanley?
He tried to buy a ship's print, the Princess Ida, from a girlfriend of mine, Miss Pringle. Stanley offered $100 for a picture worth $1. A liberal offer like that is...
Craig!
No, don't blow your gasket. It's only a parcel delivery through your closed window. Did you order this?
What is it?
A claw. A garden tool like the one used on Doc Tyler. And a note with it. It's addressed to me, Barrie Craig. Get out of Seneca by 10 this morning or never.
Get out of Seneca by 10?
9. I've got an hour of grace.
Or never. Craig, it's a threat against your life.
I'll be planted in the country. A city fellow like me.
The handwriting.
No handwriting. The note was put together with newsprint. Can I borrow your car?
Yeah, of course.
Stanley's antique shop is on North Rugby Road, just this side of the Seneca line, you said.
It's a 3-mile drive. Up the incline to Widow's Ridge, then left a quarter mile... Craig, be careful. Please, I don't want your murder on my conscience.
Okay, I'll stay alive. But only for your sake, mind you. Staying alive is a deal that sometimes needs the cooperation of unknown parties, in my racket anyhow. Climbing the steep incline to Widow's Ridge. Climbing maybe 300 feet into morning mists as thick as pea soup. I knew I wasn't going to get that kind of cooperation. A rifle shot that blew a tire into confetti. Crash off the incline had to come.
From February 6, 1952, the Golden Age of Radio Theater is presenting Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator. Once again, William Gardner.
Funny distortions in your eye when you first come to and start taking inventory to see if you're alive. A half-frozen robin who didn't have the sense to fly south for the winter. He sat on the side of the hill 10 feet from where I lay, staring solemnly at me and chirping prayers for my safety. Oh, when I started getting to my feet, the robin flew away. The inventory added up. I was all there in one piece, with a few dents that couldn't hurt forever. Samuel's car was down at the foot of the incline, topsy-turvy, like it was playing dead dog. I'd been thrown clear of the wreck. Half my fee into the poor box. I took an oath on that as I started for Rugby Road on foot. Fred Stanley gave me the expected answer.
Just what do you find so unusual about my interest in buying old pictures, Mr. Craig?
$100 for a $1 picture doesn't make sense.
And why must it make sense?
It's a cold, practical world, chum. People generally don't go haywire with money. They conserve it.
Now, look, Craig, I collect Americana. Whatever strikes my fancy, I buy. The cost is secondary.
But you're in business to buy cheap and sell at a profit.
Technically, yes, but it doesn't work out that way. I love buying and I hate selling. A profit is rare.
That gets expensive. Where does the money come from?
That's none of your business, Craig. Now, if you don't mind, I'll terminate this interview.
I'm in no hurry.
Now, look here, Craig.
And I'm in no mood for the polite, formal approach, Stanley. Or the kind of weasel talk you've been giving me. Or being terminated.
Are you insane?
I walked away from my own murder 20 minutes ago. I came to this whistle stop against my will to do a big, good deed. And go home. I don't intend to settle here for keeps.
But what has that got to do...
You lied to me. A fancy, eccentric pose that's as phony as a ham-boiled act in Shamokin. The ship print signifies something more than just another antique. No polite, formal approach, Stanley. I'm going to pound the truth out of you.
Crazy, let me go.
Tell me about the Princess Ida ship print.
Let go. Harmony, help.
Harmony, huh? Now we're making headway. So King Kong's hired out to you.
Harmony, help.
I want you to let Stanley go.
Strapping ape like you, Harmony, you don't need a gun to take charge.
I want you to let Stanley go.
Sure, I'll let Stanley go. I was only fixing his tie.
Oh, Craig, you had no right to manhandle me, no right.
It paid off. I got to find out who was providing Harmony with his raw meat.
Harmony's with me on day hire to do general cleaning and polishing, scrape down old furniture.
Plus prowl in attics, plus distribute garden tools shaped like claws all over town, plus take rival shots at passing cars.
You're out of your mind. You assaulted me and Harmony rescued me. Now get out of here.
Sure. But I'll be back. I'll be back, Stanley. The minute I tumble to your motive. Back at Miss Pringle's to wash up and change my suit for a whole one, I found her prized parlor rug a mess. Spots all over it. And the dog Fluff suddenly cured of laryngitis and barking. Warm spots with a sticky feeling to the hand. Red like blood. Blood tracked in by Fluff from somewhere. I followed the tracks to Miss Pringle's bedroom. The blood was Miss Pringle's goodbye to spinsterhood. The garden tool shaped like a claw lay beside her on the floor like a third hand. Town Supervisor Samuels, aged 20 years and 20 seconds.
Craig, it's ghastly.
We'll skip the rhetoric. Miss Pringle was murdered by someone who made off with the Princess Ida.
You know that?
The picture is gone. I searched high and low.
The murder then clears Stanley and Harmony of any suspicion.
No.
But you saw them
Miss
both.
Pringle could have been murdered earlier, while I was here, breakfasting with you. The Princess Ida and old Baldy. 2 murders for 2 worthless relics.
You're convinced these relics motivated the atrocities?
It figures. The relics and somebody's lust to kill for its own sake. We're dealing with a nut to boot. Do the articles have any history?
History?
A story, some legend they figure in, say.
No, nothing I know, Craig.
Some background that could tell us why 2 hunks of junk produced 2 killings.
I'm sorry.
Is there anybody in Seneca who could know? A village librarian or a local historian?
You could ask Will Briggs. Will used to be our recorder until the town board voted to abolish the job.
Will Briggs.
Will's crotchety, bad-tempered. I don't think he'll be disposed to help you, even if he could.
Even in a town crisis like this?
Will Briggs don't feel very civic about Seneca and its problems. Since we abolished his job for economy reasons, Will's been feuding. Suing in the courts for pension, making a rumpus at town hall meetings.
Great cooperative little town you've got here. Great job you roped me into. But Will Briggs pulled a switch on Samuel's characterization of him. Briggs fell all over himself cooperating.
For $20, Mr. Craig. I am a man without funds.
$20, okay. You'll get it.
Black-hearted board of supervisors.
Did you dirt. Old Baldy and the Princess Ida. Scratch your memory.
Old Baldy and the Princess Ida. Funny now, you should be asking about them.
Why is it funny?
You're the second party that's come to me asking.
Who came first?
Old Mitchell Stanley's grandson. The one who settled himself into a shop here a spell ago. Young Fred Stanley.
What did you tell him?
What I'll tell you. If you wait. I have the record here. Yes, here it is. The sales sheet, my own writing, for that auction they held at Mitchell Stanley's once, to raise money for burying him. I was scraping for the auctioneer that day.
Get to it, please.
In my time. See? It says here we sold beds and tables and floor coverings. Down here it says Old Baldy. 50 cents. Sold to Dr. Tyler. Princess Ida. $1. Sold to Miss Pringle. And the snowman sold for 75 cents.
What's the snowman?
The design on a patchwork quilt named for.
Who bought it?
Let me see. Sold to Adam Samuels, it says. That's the town supervisor himself.
Where's your telephone, Briggs?
Telephone? He never invented it from its use to me. Keeping body and soul together as it is.
Briggs, don't bend my ears.
What's got your back up?
Samuels, your town supervisor's number 3 on the Claw murderers list.
If it's so, I say good riddance to the black-hearted.
Good riddance of bad. Someone else would have to judge Samuel's merits as a human on Earth. The garden tool shaped as a claw lay across the room where it had been thrown. A claw with bright red fingers. Fred Stanley resisted arrest to the last gasp. Harmony's last gasp, that is.
Craig, get out of here.
You're under arrest, Stanley.
You have no authority.
I've got a gun.
Harmony.
That 8th man comes through the door and he's dead.
Harmony.
You're asking your moronic stooge to commit suicide?
We'll see. Harmony.
One down, and Seneca's a better place for it.
You killed him.
He's only wounded. Where do you want it, Stanley?
I'll go with you.
Stanley put his confession on record after a little workout and a lot of sweating.
I found a diary that once belonged to my grandfather, Mitchell Stanley. A diary hidden behind the oak paneling over a fireplace. In the diary, 3 pieces of a map were mentioned.
A piece each hidden in Old Baldy, the Princess Ida, and the Snowman, huh?
Yes. A treasure map. The 3 pieces were to fit together into a treasure map. Through them, I'd find the wealth my grandfather was reputed to have. The wealth that never turned up when he died.
Insanity runs in the Stanley line, huh?
My grandfather's whole genius was a genius for hiding and hoarding. Hiding from the world in that awful house at the edge of the town line. Hoarding his gold. Fantastic thing like a child's treasure map was well in character with my grandfather. The shabby trick, too, was well in character with my grandfather.
What does that mean?
Well, it was all a grotesque joke. My grandfather's ghoulish sense of humor. I killed 3 people for a load of junk. There weren't any pieces of map in Old Baldy. Or the Princess Ida, or the snowman.
That diary, Stanley. Give it to me.
Here, go hunt yourself up some treasure, Craig.
There was an anticlimax to the Stanley story. In a village beanery, with the sometime Sheriff Berkey trying to act apologetic and yet keep his dignity.
I suppose you'll be leaving now, Craig, eh?
Yeah, I can't wait to stand on Broadway and flip a cigarette into the gutter.
Well, I've been a jealous fool.
So would I be, in your shoes.
Oh, thanks. Will Briggs is coming over to see you. He says you owe him something.
Yeah. $20 for valuable services rendered.
Craig?
Briggs.
It's not out of order now.
You done me for $20? Here you are.
I'll thank you. When we go.
Stick around a minute, Briggs. I want to go over that feud you had with the town board.
I'm over it now.
Now, with the town board extinct, now that the murders of Doc Tyler, Miss Pringle, and Samuels have left Seneca without a town board.
I'm not one to pillory the dead.
But I'm one to pillory the living. Here's that alleged Mitchell Stanley diary that produced 3 murders.
Is it now?
And this is that auction sales sheet in your own handwriting, as you told me. Do I have to tell you that the handwriting in both is the same, even down to the green ink?
Craig, what are you getting at with Briggs?
That Briggs here forged the diary, Sheriff, and planted it where young Stanley would be sure to find it. That Stanley killed 3 people Briggs hated, while Briggs sat back and enjoyed the show. That young Stanley was only a dupe, a tool used for revenge. Make the arrest, Sheriff. And then flag down a train so I can scram out of this whistle stop. The sweet neighborliness around here is just killing me. Good night, folks. See you next week.
You're listening to the Golden Age of Radio Theater. And now, from January 12th, 1943, a hilarious broadcast of Fibber McGee and Molly as McGee cheers up some hospital patients.
Fibber McGee and Molly. Fibber McGee and Molly, with Bill Thompson, Gail Gordon, Arthur Q. Bryan, Dick LeGrand, and me, Harlow Wilcox. If you were secretary of the Wistful Vista Chamber of Commerce and wanted to appoint somebody to go to the hospital and visit one of the members who was ill, you'd want somebody who was quiet and modest and soothing and thoughtful and tactful and soft-spoken, wouldn't you? Somebody like Fibber McGee of Fibber McGee and Molly.
So when I volunteered to go visit this sick member, there was a dead silence. They were all probably dumbfounded to see a man of my importance taking time for such a kindly act.
Yeah, that must have been it.
Betcha.
Who are you going to the hospital to cheer up, in spite of everybody?
Oh, my gosh, imagine that. The secretary forgot to tell me. Well, anyway, I got to get down there and cheer him up. Take him some candy and cigarettes and tell him a few funny gags.
Oh, what's the matter with this unknown patient, up till now?
I don't know.
Well, you better find out.
Huh?
You know, if he's got appendicitis, you can't take him candy.
No?
And if he's had his tonsils out, he can't smoke. And if his jaw's dislocated, he can't laugh at those funny gags. You see?
Oh, gee, I never thought of that. I better call the secretary right now. Hand me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me the Wistful Vista Chamber of Commerce on the 2nd floor of Mert. Is that you?
Oh.
How's every little thing, Mert? Busy. What say, Mert? You haven't?
She hasn't what?
Hasn't heard a word from any of her relatives.
Well, thank goodness.
What say, Mert? Oh, except her cousin, she said.
No.
What about your cousin, Mert? He bought what? 1,500 pounds of horse meat.
Heavenly days to eat.
No, he's going to ride it to work and save his tires. What say, Mert? Oh, you got the Chamber of Commerce. Hello, is this Mr. Powers? This is Fibber McGee speaking, Dick. Yeah. Say, who am I supposed to visit in the hospital and what's the matter with him? Who? Oh, my gosh, I'll get right down there right away, Mr. Powers. Okay, goodbye.
Who is it, dearie?
Billy Mills.
No, what's wrong with him?
I don't know. They said it was nothing serious. I saw him just yesterday, and he looked as good as I do.
As bad as that? I wonder if I hadn't better make him a bowl of soup or something.
No, I might hurt the hospital's feeling. Hey, let's take him that fruitcake Aunt Sarah sent us for Christmas.
Fruitcake for a sick man?
Yeah, well, he's already sick, ain't he? Personally, I can't stand that stuff. And then I'll stop and get him some cigars and some candy and a book of cheap Wahoo comics.
Poor Billy. I certainly hope it's nothing serious.
I probably got a little touch of band leader's bumps.
What on earth are band leader's bumps?
That's what you get when you play Mr. 5x5 so much somebody socks you with a 2x4. Let's see. What have I got to get? Candy, magazines, cigars?
You know, I don't think Mr. Mill smokes cigars. He smokes cigarettes.
No, it's time he learned to smoke cigars. Why, when I was only 17 years old, I smoked...
Come in.
Hello there, kids. Welcome home.
Well, Mr. Oldtimer, it's nice to see you again.
Now, what do you mean, welcome home? You're the one that's been away.
I certainly have. I certainly have. Had a wonderful trip, too. Spent 3 weeks in Chicago.
Ah, the old windy city.
How is the old town since we left, Oldtimer?
Not so windy, Johnny. Not so windy. Go down to a breeze.
Well, did you go on the train, Mr. Oldtimer?
Sure did, daughter. Wonderful trip. Got to talking to a sergeant just back from the front. Told me all about the war.
Hope he didn't spill any military secrets.
Nope. Too smart for that, Johnny. When he come to a secret, he just says some vegetable instead.
Oh, how do you mean?
Well, sir, daughter, he tells me his troop ship, the SS Rutabaga, left the harbor of Sweet Potato on the Lima Bean of Green Peas. Says it was escorted by 3 big golden bantams and a small fleet of turnips with 4-motored onions flying overhead.
Must have been a very nourishing experience.
It was kind of thrilling, Johnny.
Yeah?
He says they arrived at North Succotash about the 14th of celery and went into action immediately.
Wow.
Says they killed 3,000 cabbages and captured 600 radishes. He says, don't repeat it to anybody, but he got inside information that the war will be over by the squash of April 1900 and garlic.
1900 and garlic. Well, we won't breathe a word of it.
That's pretty good, daughter. Well, I gotta be running along now.
What's your hurry, Mr. Oldtimer?
Want to get me a paper and see if there's any answer to my ad, daughter.
Your ad? What ad?
Put a ad in the paper, Johnny.
Yeah?
Wanted. Woman with pound of butter and a pig to meet man with can of syrup and a frying pan. Object, wheat cakes and sausage. Well,
Well, here's the hospital, Molly. You got the fruitcake and the candy?
Yes, have you got the magazines and the cigars and the malted milk and the donuts?
Yep. I got him a taffy apple, too, but it looks so good I ate it myself. I got some bubble gum for him instead. With bubble gum, you can...
Wait a minute, McGee. Here comes Mrs. Uppington.
Uh-oh. Old Nightmare Nellie, the girl of my dreams. Wonder what she's been doing at the hospital.
Maybe getting an estimate on having her face lifted, dearie.
What, again? That mug has been hoisted so many times now, it's all she can do to keep her feet on the ground.
Now, McGee, I don't... Hello there, Abigail, darling. So nice to see you.
How do you do, Mr. McGee? And Mr. McGee?
Hi, Uppy. Congratulations. You got the right spirit.
The right spirit about what, McGee?
Can't you see? She's pooling her shoulders to take all those little minks for a ride.
How very, very amusing, Mr. McGee. May I ask your wife a question?
Why, certainly, Abigail. What is it?
Well, tell me, Mrs. McGee, what is the annual yield of corn from one little wiseacre like Mr. McGee?
Well, Abigail, if it was all piled up in one corner of the field, it would be quite a shock. But what are you doing down here at the hospital?
Oh, I came down here to visit my housekeeper, Mrs. Underwood.
What's the matter with her, Uppy?
She sprained a ligament in her arm, the poor soul.
Oh, how?
Oh, we had unexpected guests for dinner last evening, and she tried to stretch her filet mignon. Well, I simply must go buy my war bond. Thanks to Mr. McGee.
Why thanks to me?
Because every time I see you, Mr. McGee, I think of inflation. And when I think of inflation, I think how important it is that this country maintain financial control during and after this war, which means everyone must buy all the war bonds he possibly can. So please stay out of my sight for the rest of the week. I'm over my budget now. Goodbye, Mrs. McGee.
Goodbye, Abigail. Well, come on, McGee.
I'm glad you didn't tell Uppy about Billy Mills. She could never cheer anybody up. She's a walk. Oh, come on.
So you better ask the nurse at the desk where Mr. Mills is, McGee.
Yeah, look at her giving us the once-over. Why do all hospitals have some eagle eye at the desk that looks at you like you'd come in to blow the joint up? Hey, sis, could you tell us...
Please, be more quiet.
All right. But we wanted to know where we could find Mr. Mills. He's a patient here.
Mills?
That's right.
Well, just a minute. I'll find out. Hey, Considine, what room is Mills in? Who? Mills. Room 502. Oh, much obliged, Considine. What say, Murphy? I said thanks. Oh, don't mention it.
So Mr. Mills is in room...
Not so loud, please. Excuse me. Wistful Vista Hospital. Miss Murphy speaking. Who? No, madam, I'm sorry, but Dr. Case is out on a bender. Dr. Bender is out on a case. Yes, I'll be glad to tell him what he...
Come on now. Room 502. Don't drop that fruitcake. Hey, there ain't any elevator man here.
Not so loud, McGee. And this is one of those elevators you run yourself.
Oh.
Get in and press the button with the 5 on.
Okay. You ready?
Ready.
Here we go.
Heavenly days. Noisy, isn't it?
Huh?
Noisy, I say.
What's that?
I say it's awful noisy, isn't it?
Better tell me later, Molly. The elevator makes so much noise I can't hear you.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
Me too. Hey, sis, can you tell us where we can...
What was it, please?
We're visiting one of the patients, room 502.
Oh, I'm sorry. The patient has just gone to the delivery room.
Delivery room? Is he expecting a package?
The delivery room... Oh, my goodness, there must be some mistake, dearie.
Oh, no, there isn't, madam. And I may tell you, the whole staff is interested in this case. It's going to be twins, at least.
Hey, what? Twins? You mean Billy Mills?
Quiet, please. And who did you say?
Mr. Mills. Billy Mills in 502, the man we came here to see.
Oh, they gave you the wrong card at the desk. We have a Mrs. Millie Bills in 502. You want room 306.
Oh, well, much obliged, sis.
Back in the elevator, McGee.
Okay. Don't crowd me now. This malted milk is dripping as it is. The candy all set.
Not so loud, please.
Oh, I thought you were gone.
Press button number 3, dearie.
Okay. Remind me to write to General Eisenhower about that elevator, man. Imagine a tank that goes straight up and down.
McGee.
Huh?
I'd have sworn I saw Mr. Wilcox go in that third door there.
Ah, you're imagining things. What would he be doing down here on a Tuesday night? Which door was it? This one?
Yes. It says nurses training. You suppose he's got a date with a nurse.
Let's peek and see.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be right, McGee.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, don't be selfish. Let me see, too.
Oh, when you girls go out on a case, always be sure that strict sanitation prevails wherever food is prepared. Be sure the linoleum floors are sparkling and immaculate.
Old Professor Wilcox, M.D.
M.D.?
Mighty determined to sell his wax one way or another. Well, come on, Molly, before this malted milk goes flat. We won't...
Oh, wait a minute, McGee. Here comes the doctor.
Where? Oh, the guy in the white coat. Hi, Doc.
Good afternoon. You are visitors?
Yes, to see Mr. Mills. How's he getting along?
Splendidly. What was the name again?
Mills. Billy Mills.
Oh, yes. Oh, he's doing very nicely. Isn't he the tall, thin, dark chap?
No. No, Mr. Mills is short and heavy set, and, he's blonde, isn't he, McGee?
I don't remember, and I doubt if Billy does. Anyway, he's the guy in 306, Doc.
Ah, yes, 306. Getting along nicely.
Oh, fine.
Though we don't like to make specific statements in most cases. Everything is relative, you know. Yes, indeed. Things are never what they seem. For instance, there is nothing so permanent as a temporary filling, or as temporary as a permanent wave. Well, if you will excuse me, you will be quiet, won't you?
Yes, we will, Doctor.
Thank you. Goodbye, Mr. Mills.
Come on, McGee. I'm tired of carrying these packages.
You're 306 right here. Well, hello, Mom. Hello, Skimp.
Hello, Mr. Mills.
Hi, Billy, old boy, oh boy, oh boy. We come down to cheer you up, kid. Yes, sir. Well, how do you feel? Kind of rocky, eh? Hey, here's a chocolate malted for you and some donuts. Give him a hunk of fruitcake, Molly. Hey, Billy, did you ever hear the one about the guy that... Oh, I almost forgot. Here, have a cigar.
McGee?
You ever hear the one... Toss him one of those magazines, Molly. It's a very funny story, Billy, about the fellas. Hey, you like bubble gum? It's all kinds of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, it seems there was these two fellas, see, Pat and Mike, we'll call them.
McGee.
Huh?
Stop slapping Mr. Mills on the knee.
Oh, that's okay. I won't catch anything. I got my gloves on. Hey, here's a box of candy for you, Billy, old man. Chocolate-covered cherry.
For goodness sakes, McGee, be quiet a minute.
Huh?
This is no way to treat a sick man. Are you very sick, Mr. Mills?
Not sick at all, Mom. Feel swell.
You're not sick? Then what you here for?
Spend a couple of days here every 2 years. Get checked up. Gives me a nice rest, too.
2 days in the hospital when you're not even sick? Don't you get lonesome?
Nope. Anyway, I had a roommate up till this morning.
Oh, too bad he couldn't have stayed.
I know. He'd have been gone even sooner, but he took a turn for the nurse. Have a donut yourself, Skimp.
Thanks, I will. Donut, Molly?
No, thank you. So you're not sick at all, Mr. Mills, huh?
Never felt better, Mom.
Mind if I drink this malted milk, Billy?
Help yourself. Eat the candy, too.
Oh.
I never touch it.
Mr. Mills, now I'll bet you're really sick and you won't tell us.
Honest, Mom.
Stick out your tongue.
There. My gosh, look at it, Molly. It's all black.
Heavenly day.
Oh, it's nothing. My nurse is nearsighted. She took my temperature this morning with her fountain pen.
Have some bubble gum, Billy?
No, thanks. Hey, Mom.
Yeah?
Press that button on the wall there, will you?
All right.
Thanks.
What does that do?
That's the signal for the nurse.
Oh, maybe we better leave, McGee.
Yeah.
No. Stay here, Mom. I always press that button when I don't want to be disturbed for an hour or so.
Well, I'm sure glad you ain't sick, Will. Here, have a chocolate-covered cherry.
No thanks, Drip.
Huh?
I said no thanks. They drip.
Oh. I missed a word.
You know, I think he looks wonderful, don't you, McGee? Except that he's kind of drawn around the mouth. Been suffering much pain, Mr. Mills?
I'm not sick, Mom. I feel fine. Just here for a checkup.
People get that look sometimes before they get sick, Molly. You know
They do,
that.
huh?
Anyway, that ain't what worried me. What gets me is that twitch in his left temple. You see? That's a sure sign of fallen arches.
Is that what makes his lips so blue-looking, too, dearie?
Absolutely. Though the whites of his eyes looking so yellow, that don't mean anything. That could be a simple case of either jaundice or low metabolism or whatever.
You're listening to the Fibber McGee and Molly Show with Jim and Marion Jordan from the Golden Age of Radio Theater. Once again, Fibber and Molly.
Oh, the innkeeper comes splashing out in the rain just as the knight was climbing back onto the Great Dane, see? And he says, okay, he says, I've changed my mind, he says. I'll give you a room. I wouldn't turn a knight away on a dog like this.
Oh, dearie.
Hey, you better finish up this fruitcake, Billy. There's only a little piece of it left.
No, thanks.
Heavenly days, have you eaten all that fruitcake, dearie?
No, not all of it. I dropped a little hunk of it in Billy's bed, I guess.
Part with some walnuts and raisins in it, too.
You're lucky I didn't drop a chocolate-covered cherry. Hey, where are they?
You ate those too, McGee.
I did? Well, Billy shouldn't be eating such rich stuff like that anyway. Just laying there in bed, no exercise. Hey, Billy, did I ever tell you the one about the guy that was...
What is this, Halloween? Come in.
Well, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, folks. Hello, Mr. Mills.
Hello, Mike.
I'm glad to see you back, Wimp, old man. Have a nice trip?
Oh, just gorgeous, Mr. McGee. It's a beautiful trip from here to Philadelphia.
Yeah?
I never saw such scenery.
Oh, what was it like, Mr. Wimple?
I never saw it. They had the shades down for the black eye.
Miss Sweetie Face, Wallace?
Oh, not very much, Mr. Mills. I had her picture with me all the time. The one she sent me when we were corresponding through the matrimonial agency.
Oh, so that's how you met Sweetie Face. Through a bride and bachelor bingo club, eh?
Yes. I sent her my picture, and she sent me her picture.
Oh, was it love at first sight?
It was for her, Mrs. McGee. It took me longer. You see, Sweetie Face sent me her picture on a jigsaw puzzle, so the shock wouldn't be too sudden. There's still a piece missing out of her nose, but off her it looks good.
Glad to see you back, Wallace.
Oh, indeed she was. She grabbed me and almost smothered me.
With kisses?
No, just smothered me. She was mad because I lost one of my shirts in the laundry.
Well, it was nice of you to come down and see Billy on your first day home, Wimp. How'd Sweetie Face ever let you out?
Oh, she didn't want me to go, but I insisted.
Yeah?
So she finally said, all right, go down to the darn old hospital if you must, but let's make it worthwhile. So she broke my arm, see?
Heavenly, Dick. You better go get it looked after.
Oh, it's all right, Mrs. McGee. This is the one she always breaks. Last time I had them put a hinge on the bone. Well, goodbye now.
Well, now that we've cheered Billy up, Molly, I guess we better go too, huh? Just as soon as I finish this last donut.
Well, don't hurry away.
Oh, I think we better.
Did you ring, Mr. Mills?
Yes, but you didn't have to drop everything and run in here, baby. When can I leave?
Right now, if you like. Your reports are all in and everything's fine. Your visitors can either step outside or you can dress behind the screen.
Well, we'll just step outside for a few minutes.
Oh.
Hey, look at Skip. He's turning purple.
Mickey, what's the matter, dearie?
I don't feel good.
Oh, Mr. Mills, get out of that bed. Here, madam. Help me get this man up there.
All right.
Oh, take off his shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind my shoes. My feet don't hurt. It's my stomach.
Oh, it looks like acute indigestion. What have you been eating?
Box of candy, fruit cake, malted milk, 6 donuts, and some bubble gum.
McGee, darling, lie down, dearie. Let Mother loosen your collar. Get a doctor, nurse.
Yes, right away, Mother.
I told him not to put an egg in that malted.
Now, you just be calm, dearie. The doctor will be here in a minute. What's the matter, Mr. Mills?
Hand me the phone, Mom.
Oh.
Thanks. Hello? Operator? Give me the West Vista Chamber of Commerce. Yeah? Oh, is that you, Mert? Never mind that, Mert. Give me the Chamber of Commerce. Hello? Is this you, Mr. Powers? Billy Mills speaking. From the hospital. Mr. McGee is sick down here, and I want you to send somebody down to cheer him up.
Oh, how nice. How nice, Billy.
Yes, Boris Karloff, if you can get him.
Well, how do you feel now, McGee?
Much better, thanks. But I guess I shouldn't have eaten all that stuff.
I'm ashamed of you.
Yeah.
Making a pig of yourself.
Yeah.
A great big pig.
Yeah.
And on a meatless day.
Huh? Oh, good night.
Good night, Al.
That's the Fibber McGee and Molly program from January 12th, 1943. Just a moment, a word about the Hermit's Cave. The Hermit's Cave was one of those spine-tingling kind of gory shows in the tradition of Arch Obler, with lots of sound effects of people being slashed and stabbed and bashed and mashed and gashed, and all sorts of mayhem took place. It originated at station KMPC in Los Angeles and was later syndicated. The program opened something like this, and I apologize for not having a recording. The only recording I have of the Hermit's Cave is unsuitable for broadcast, so the quality isn't quite good enough. But the Hermit opened the program by saying, "Ghost stories, weird stories, and murders, too. The Hermit knows them all. Turn out your lights. Turn them out. Have you heard the story? Then listen while the Hermit tells you the story of," and insert name of program. So much for the Hermit's Cave. So much for the golden age of radio theater this time. This is Victor Ives speaking, thanking you for being with us, and inviting you to join us again as we turn back the clock to relive the golden moments of radio's yesteryear and present the greatest radio shows of all time on the golden age of radio theater.
For a copy of today's program, call 1-800-326-0296 and refer to show number 5. That number again is 1-800-326-0296. And remember to refer to show number 5.